All right, so now we're going to talk about automation. Automation in Ableton Live is very similar to Pro Tools and Logic, so we're not going to start all the way back at the beginning. I'm going to assume that y'all know what automation is. What's up, Monique? How you doing? There are a couple things that are a little bit different from Logic and Pro Tools. That's what we're going to talk about mostly. So let's just start off with the stuff that is the same. So basically in Ableton Live, let me go ahead and open up this one that we were working on just a second ago. In Ableton Live, if I have my automation, I want to put in some automation in here. What I do is instead of being a write or read, latch, touch, all that different stuff, there's just a automation write turning on here, right here, automation arm. We can turn that on. And I have my automation set up in my preferences so that, let's see here, where is it? Automation. I forget where it is in here. Oh, okay, here we go. Record session automation in all tracks. Record, warp, and launch in your preferences. So I keep it set to all tracks, not armed tracks, just all tracks, because in order to do automation, you have to hit the record button up here and it'll let you record automation in. Or if you're in the arrangement view, or if you're in the session view, you can record into your overdub mode right here. Oh, I guess... I don't know. So I always just use this, and I don't have automation set up in anything. I just, whatever track I just do automation on, that's what it does. So for example, if I want to record volume automation into this one here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this James Brown track here. Put this back to 88. And if I have this on, I have my session arrangement record button turned on. I can go in here. Oh, it's hot because I had automation turned on. It actually recorded my automation in there. There we go. Okay. Whoa. Hey, stop that. There we go. All right. So what we can do is go in here and we say, maybe I want to do like a volume change on this. I just turn on my record arm up here for the arrangement view, and I just adjust my volume over here on the right hand side. I'm just going to click and drag it down. There we go. And now if I hit my A button, you can see there's a little bit of automation had been recorded in here in the beginning because it's kind of like touch. Hold on, get in here. There we go. There we go. It's kind of like touch mode in Pro Tools in that regard. But there we go. So now, that was just because it looped back around. And you can see it has all my automation data in here. So that part's very similar to how it works in Pro Tools or Logic. If I want to automate anything in here, I literally just have to grab it and automate. So let's say I put like a loop. Let's say I put a filter on here. Okay, I can go in here and I can hit the record button and it'll record it all in. Right? There we go. Anything that's automated has a little red dot next to it. So if it has automation, it's got a little red dot. And it's as easy as that. If I want to see stuff that's been automated, I just go over here. I can see, look, I automated my mixer, the track volume. I automated my auto filter, the resonance, and the frequency. These two things have been automated. I can see because there's a little red dot. Now, if I want to see these in individual automation lanes, I can load it up here, click the plus button down here, and now it'll show me, okay, there's my resonance. I can go over here, I can say, let's get the frequency, hit the plus button on that one. So now I've got two down here, like that. So there's my automation lanes for these. I can make them bigger and smaller, just like with any kind of lanes in Ableton Live, anything like that. I can also, here's the cool thing, is I can hide them. So now I don't have to look at them, and if I hit A, I can unhide them like that. And that's a really cool little feature right there. If I want to see all my automation or not, I just hit the A key and I can see my automation or not. If you're using an older version like Live 9, I believe. I think the automation was in Live 9 actually. So Live 8 or earlier, it's just always going to have your automation there. And then Live 9, 10, 11, obviously, you hit the A key and it opens up your automation. I believe the automation was Live 9, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was Live 8 or Live 10 rather. I don't remember now. And it's also this key right here. Boop, that one right there. Okay, so that's that. That's the normal arrangement view of automation. And like I said, it's basically the same as Pro Tools and Logic. If I want to go ahead and see my instrument, if I wanted to get rid of this automation, I can just click on it and hold down Command and hit Delete, and it will get rid of all the automation for that parameter. So I can just click over here and I can hit Delete. Now, one other thing though about this is that in Pro Tools and Logic, here's the big difference. In Pro Tools and Logic, automation is king, and I have it right here in the notes somewhere. Under remember, here we go. Yeah, automation live versus Pro Tools. Unlike in Pro Tools, automation is not king in Ableton Live. In Pro Tools, automation is king. So if I have automation on something, I cannot move it. I have to actually overwrite it or change it or something like that. But in Ableton Live, automation can be overridden. Just adjust the parameter that you want to override. The current automation will turn gray, and Live will follow the parameter's new position. If I want to go back to my original automation, I click the Re-enable Automation button. So what that means is I've got this going on here. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. I don't want that. And if I go in here and I say, you know what, this filter is moving around too much, I can just click it and move it. And now it's just going to stay in one position. And we see what happens. All my automation that I had before has turned gray up here. It's still there, it's just not being used. And my new lane where I am is this little red line right here, this like dotted line. So what I can do, hold on, adjust these. What I can do is I just go down here and I can move this. And you can see the line is now up higher. Up there, if I move it down, the line is down here. So that's what I mean. If I want to go back to this automation, if I don't want it to be gray anymore, I want to be following the automation, I click on this little red arrow. The red arrow didn't appear, it didn't turn red until I moved something. So now if I click the arrow, it goes back to the automation here, and I play it. And we can see it's moving around. If I grab it and I move it, now we can see the line turned gray and it turned on my little red arrow here. So that's the big difference in arrangement view automation between Pro Tools and Logic, and Pro Tools and Ableton Live, is that your automation in Ableton Live, I can override it just by grabbing a parameter. Now the reason why they did that is because Live, as the name implies, was set up to be used live on stage. And so they were like, okay, if you have automation in there, but at some point if you're like in front of an audience and you want to override it and you don't want to be using the automation that's there, you want to do your own thing, you can just grab the knob and turn it and you're good to go, and it's not going to be following what was originally there. They made it for live applications, for actually using it on a stage. That's why it's set up like that. So if you're used to Pro Tools, you have to get used to how this one works. I actually prefer the way Ableton Live works because I can grab it and I can move it and I can say, okay, I want it to be around here somewhere, and I don't have to worry about what my original automation was doing. And then when I want to go back to my original automation, or if I want to move things around so it's at the new automation, I can just click on the little red arrow key thing here. So that's how that works. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on it and hit Command Delete to get rid of it, of the automation data. And same thing with this one here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to close these down. Now let's use this in a slightly different way. Let's say that I want to have my filter automation be part of the clip. So when the clip loops, I can make it as long as I want. It's going to take that filter automation with it. So what I do is I go into my clip down here in the bottom, and I go into my envelopes down here, and I could do the same thing. I can say, okay, let's automate my filter frequency here first. I'm going to turn my resonance down. Let's automate the filter frequency. So I just click on it, and now it's going to be my frequency. And now I can say, all right, let's go in here and do some stuff to it. Let's go, let's make it just a steady up, and I'll pull this down like this. Why? Oh, hold on, let's put this back at -11. And we can see now it's a blue dot. Now, this is interesting because now that it's a blue dot, it's actually a bit different from the red dot. There's a red dot and there's a blue dot. The red dot is absolute automation. It's what you see in your thing up here. And I forget, you can maybe see it in other places, but with the clip envelope, it's what we call a relative automation. And the relative automation, basically, it's working around what my frequency is here. So I can have both of those happening. I can have my frequency here be kind of going up over time. Let's move this down like this. And now the relative automation that's in my clip is going to go around it. We're going to see this blue line that appears. And as this goes up, see how that, you can hear it. So it's got a red dot, and it's also got this blue line is moving around. And if I go look at my clip, we can see these are like, I've got like automation, clip automation in here. And this is what we call, the official name for these is clip envelopes. And clip envelopes can be set with the clip itself, but we can also disconnect these from the clip, which is super, super cool. Check this out. So we got this. Let's do this. Let's go and make this like a, here. Let's take this and grab it in. Let's move this. Let's unlink the clip. Boom. I can unlink it. Turn my grid on. Let's set this to be 1.5 beats. Let's do this, yeah. Like that. So you can do these like interesting polyrhythms and stuff like this. Nidmit99999 says, nice beat, thanks. It's just a beat loop though from like a sample pack. Okay, but we can see these clip envelopes are down here doing this thing, and this is, it's separated out from my original loop. My original loop is 1 bar, and this parameter now has a loop of 1.5 beats. Now, the thing about this is, or what is that, 3, yeah, 1.5 beats. Yep. So the thing about this is, is that every parameter can have its own loop length. So you can create all these crazy polyrhythms and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna talk about that too much more, because I mean, I pretty much just want to be done with it, because it's the type of thing that you have to really wrap your head around and think about and like kind of play with it to really understand it. But I could have my filter here be 1 length of loop, and then I could have let's do a pan. Let's do an auto pan here. So I'm going to do this. Go over here, grab my auto pan. Effects, pan. Pan. There we are. There's, okay. So we're going to drag auto pan on here, and I can have it pan left and right. Actually, I'm sorry. Listen, what am I doing? Let's do it inside the clip. That's what I was doing, it inside the clip. The mixer, track volume, panning, there we go. So we're gonna have this go back and forth. Let's unlink this. Let's have this one be 2 beats. Length is gonna be 0.2. There we go. And I'm just gonna have it go from left to right. Now, if I want to, the easiest way to do this is highlight it, right click, and just put a shape in. Boop, there's my shape. Let's do that one more time. I can highlight the part I want to do the left to right pan, or the right to left pan, and just put whatever, I right click and I just put whatever I want in there. So now, let's put a point in the middle, and then I'm going to use Option to put a curve in here. And if you have headphones on, you can hear that panning left and right. I could also highlight this and put a different, let's put a square wave. I can flip this. How do I flip it? I forget how I flipped it. I can make it smaller, duplicate it. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with this once you've got it in here. I forget how you flip it though. I don't remember how the flip happens. Maybe there's a key command I hold down? No. Yeah, I don't remember how you flip it. Simplify. Yeah, so anyway. Oh, I mean, I guess what you would just do is just draw it the other direction, maybe? No? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember. Without drawing it in, which is, there's got to be a way to flip it. I just don't remember what it is. So basically, we can do that, and that's, I unlinked it here. So a couple of other things, if I want to go ahead and put some like some properties in here. So I've got my frequency filter here. I can highlight it up here, and I can say, let's put in a triangle shape, and I just want to have this be a little bit smaller. There we go. Oh, that's how you flip it. There you go. Hold down Option and grab the top part there. You gotta grab this little thing here and it'll flip it. So let's do this. And we're just gonna duplicate that. So it just does that over and over again. Boom. So that's using some of your shapes that Ableton Live has. That was new for Live 10. So if you use Live like 9 pretty much, then the shapes are new for Live 10. Cool. So basically, that is automation in Ableton Live. Let's see, what do we got in here? All the stuff, yeah, we just talked about. Yep, the plus button will add the currently selected automation lane to the drop-down lanes. Clip envelopes can be linked or unlinked. You get to them, it's a little bit different from what's in the notes because these notes are a little bit old. You're not going to use this anymore. What you're going to do is this over here. It's got it like as like a little tab thing here. I'm not really sure why they changed it, to be honest with you. I guess they decided that you didn't need to see both at the same time. Before, you could see both at the same time, but now you cannot see both at the same time. Hold on, my dog is eating. Stop eating that stuff. Stop it. No. Here, eat this. There you go. My dog likes to eat pieces of dried grass. Whatever, it's a dog. Okay. So yeah, like I said, I'm not really sure why they changed that around. To me, it wasn't broke, but whatever. Any parameters you've automated will have a red dot. We talked about that. The clip envelope parameters will have a blue dot. Clip envelopes stay within the clip, whether you are in the session view or the arrangement view, volume, transposition. Change to track automation. So if I have clip envelopes in here and I move them into, if I drag a clip from the session view to the arrangement view, it actually will become track automation, which you can put it, you could like put it into the clip automation again if you wanted to. Kind of depends on how you have things set up. It is a little bit weird how Ableton Live works with that going back and forth between the session view and the arrangement view with automation, but you get used to it. You get used to it. Oh, okay, the lock envelopes button. This is really cool. The lock envelopes button. If I have all these here, and let's say that I've got this, and I want this to follow along, I just hold down Option, I can drag it, and everything follows it. But if I don't want it to follow, I can click my lock envelopes button over here on the right-hand side. And now when I drag it over using Option, see how it doesn't follow it any longer. It's now its own thing. So if I unlock this and I drag it over, all the automation is going to follow the clip. But if I turn the lock on, the automation will stay where it was. So that's a really good thing to have. I actually like to have that set for my slash key. The reason why I do that is because a similar function in Pro Tools is shift slash. So basically I set it up so it's like basically the same thing in Pro Tools and Logic. I mean, Pro Tools and Ableton Live, it's basically the same for both of them. Let's see here. This just explains when you're you're like adjusting your automation we talked about in the beginning. Performing automation changes. Yeah, record, alert, launch, record session only, session view, all tracks. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, this is stuff we all talked about here. Okay, a couple things to remember about automation. To choose the parameter you want to automate, click it in the plugin. Just click it. That's all you have to do. Don't turn on the automation arm button unless you want to record automation. I usually just leave this off up here because, all right, at least I try to remember to leave it off because that way, if I'm recording stuff and I make changes, it's not going to accidentally change anything. Automation can be overridden by slightly adjusting a parameter. Clip envelopes can be unlinked from the length of the audio waveform. Hold Option to curve an automation line. So we didn't talk about that. So if I put this down like this, I click and drag it down. I can go in here, I can hold Automation, and it will allow me to curve the line, which is really nice. Something you cannot do in Pro Tools, although it's weird that you can't do it in Pro Tools. I'm not sure why that's a thing, but there you go. And that's the end of our automation stuff. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording right here.